everybody. Welcome
Hi.
back to Double Scoop.
Been a while. We've
It's
missed
been a
you.
long time. We have missed you. It's been a crazy month. Won't get into details, but
Not for this video.
I think eventually we'll make a video for it. But
Right now, we are looking forward to just getting back to our normal, and that
yeah,
includes talking to you guys and
yeah,
getting back into the gym and
yep,
regularly getting in the gym, I should say,
yeah.
and sharing that.
We'll share. Yeah, we'll share some high level stuff of what happened in a later video. But on top of that, Janine is also dealing with an injury. She pulled something in her neck. Been going to physical therapy and chiropractor and all this stuff, and it's not really fully healed yet, but it's getting there.
Yep. So trying to navigate that. Obviously, I still work.
Yeah.
Stress of that. So yeah, we've just been busy, and
Yeah.
life has been lifing.
Life has definitely been lifing in the most extreme way. But we wanted to talk about something that a lot of people don't really talk about. It's been all over the news and the
Social media.
Got a nose itch. It's been all over really, and it's really kind of been a taboo subject for whatever reason. You know, I almost feel like it's up there with talking about, you know, steroids and whatever else. Like it's almost like a cheat code, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't have any reservations about it. Do you?
No, I don't. I think you used to.
Well, let's talk about what it is.
So we are talking about weight loss medications like Ozempic, Mounjaro, Zepbound, or any like version of like their off-label use. If you go to like a compounding pharmacy and you get it either in an injectable or a pill form, that is what we're talking about.
Yeah. Now Janine in her journey has decided to.
Not just decided to, as I am continuing on with my own weight loss journey, I have decided to resume weight loss medication. I previously had a prescription for Ozempic that I did get through my bariatric doctor last year. And I was on it for about 6 months and I saw really good results with it. It did everything it was supposed to for me and I had very minimal side effects. And then my health insurance stopped covering it because it was prescribed to me off label, which is when the doctor prescribes you something that is not for its intended benefit.
Yeah.
So Ozempic is made for type 1 diabetes. I do not have the markers of someone who's diabetic, but she thought I could very much benefit from the other results that came from it.
So the weight loss part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you were on it before, how much weight did you lose?
45 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
And it
helped. For the record, this was before Janine and I were together.
Yeah, so. This was before we met. Yeah. And I not only did I lose weight, but it helped me so much with the food noise and the cravings. Like I wasn't constantly thinking about where my next meal was gonna come from or what it was gonna be.
What do you mean by food noise?
Just that, like constantly thinking about what am I gonna eat next, like in your head, or oh, I can go get a snack.
So I don't know what that feels like.
Oh, I guess not everybody doesn't know what that feels like.
No, they don't. No.
I constantly was just always in a place where, even though I'm full, I'm thinking about, what do I have in the pantry to snack on? What's in the fridge? Or I'm finishing up breakfast and I'm already thinking about what am I going to make for lunch in a couple hours?
Yeah.
So that is what they call food noise. And that was something I struggled with a lot.
I have never experienced that, so I don't know. So you were on the Ozempic, and it shut down the food noise.
It turned it off. Completely turned it off.
Wow.
So it was so much easier to stay within, a healthy calorie deficit when it's not so. I'm not fighting that urge to snack all the time.
Okay, so that was Ozempic. When was that?
I had to get off of it a year ago, actually.
A year ago. Okay, so Janine and I have been together for 10 months. So really, a couple months before we met is when you got off.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, we've been together, and you resumed. It's not Ozempic, right?
I am taking semaglutide, which is the active ingredient found in Ozempic, and I am getting it through a licensed or registered nurse at a med spa locally where we live.
Yeah.
So she prescribes it to me. I've done blood work through this facility. They get their all their medication from a very well-known, respected pharmacy, in our state. So like it checks all the boxes of being legit. It's not some crap someone made in a basement or water they're putting in a vial and selling it as semaglutide.
Yeah.
But it is the active ingredient in what makes Ozempic effective. So that is what I am now taking. And it is still a syringe, and it is preloaded for me. And so I go do a check-in once a month. We do a weigh-in, and then I discuss with the provider, the progress I made, how I was feeling, and then I titrate up in dosage. So this is my second month on it, and I am at 0.5.
Okay.
0.5 milligrams.
So last month, last month you started what?
0.25.
0.25, then you get 0.5, and then
I will go to 0.75, and then up to 1 milligram, which could be where I end up staying. Okay. They evaluate how much weight you lose at each dose because they don't want you to lose too fast, because then that is not sustainable.
Sure, makes sense. And let's really reiterate that this is through a healthcare provider, licensed healthcare provider. This is all legit. You don't, like, you're doing the blood work, you're doing the background, you're checking all the boxes, like you said, and it's not some podunk whatever.
Yeah. And I do want to recognize my privilege. This is not a cheap option on something to do.
Yep.
Ozempic off the shelf is $1,200 a month, and that was definitely not something that we could afford.
No, not at all. So this alternative, but it's still the active ingredient.
Yeah, it is a fraction of the price, which I can work into my budget, and it to me is worth prioritizing allotting the money for that. And then I also just wanted to say I did a lot of research before I went through with, this med spa and this provider. I did a lot of research on the different options because, of course, I wanted to save money, and I know some people just are marking up because of the name.
Sure, of course, of course. I do remember many nights you staying awake and doing your research and just making sure you had a legit provider. So, yes, we recognize everyone can't afford this. We are very fortunate that we can right now. What are your, well, first, have your cravings been the same as when you were on the Ozempic? Has it toned down the food dose?
Yes,
it
definitely has.
Had the same results so far?
So the active ingredient, semaglutide, which is what I'm taking now, it also helps like with sugar cravings. It also slows like what they call gastric emptying. So when I eat, it takes longer to make its way through my system, so I stay fuller longer. And though that's something else that I notice. Which is why when I eat, I may not be as hungry because I still have food left over from the meal before.
So it delays how long your food stays in your stomach.
Yeah, it takes to digest.
Okay, so your food stays in your stomach longer, so you stay full longer.
Yes.
That makes sense.
And then there's a whole bunch of other, perks, and I think some of the side effects kind of vary due from person to person. I am very happy to report I've only had a little touch of nausea, maybe the day of or the day after my injection for the week.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's been super manageable, and I think it is still very much worth the trade-off.
So, but that's been your only side effect. There's a little bit of nausea.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So what's your end goal?
I just would really love a little extra help to maybe drop another 40 pounds.
Okay.
Or maybe I'll drop 30 and be like, you know what? I really like the way I look. I like the way my clothes fit. I'm good. And maintain that.
Okay. So let me ask a sensitive question.
Okay.
And let me preface this. We love spur of the moment videos. Like, we don't plan these. And so whatever I ask Janine, it might be offensive, but it is always a genuine reaction. So on Ozempic, you lost how much weight?
40 pounds. 45.
Okay, did you gain that back?
I've gained maybe 20, 25 of it back. over the course of the year that I've been off of it.
Okay. So say you, on this, you lose 30, 40 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
What is your mindset, or how are you going to maintain that weight, your health, what you feel is your comfortable weight?
I think one of the other reasons why I think I gained some of that back is because when I found out that Ozempic was no longer covered by my health insurance, I had to stop immediately. Like, I went from 1 milligram to nothing.
So you didn't taper off?
No, and you're supposed to titrate back down.
Yeah.
So I do think that could have been a contributing factor into regaining some of the weight.
Yeah.
And then if it's in the budget, maybe I will stay on a maintenance dose of something lower.
Yeah.
To not just keep losing, but to help just with the food noise and the cravings.
Okay, that's fair.
I've never gotten the chance, I think, to go off of it correctly, so I can't say, I think, what
that makes sense.
Should have, like, if what happened is what normally would happen. I don't think I got a fair shot to be able to make that call.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. Okay. All right. So have you thought about when it's time when you get to your comfortable weight?
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought about if you gain weight back or whatever, you get off the right way, you taper off?
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought about what next?
I mean, I'd love to just say after I stop the medication, I don't need to keep paying for this. I can just eat right and diet and, live a balanced life and maintain that weight. But we'll see.
Okay.
I'd like to be able to say that's my goal.
Yeah.
It may not be possible, and I don't think there's anything wrong with just being someone that needs a little extra help.
Yeah.
I truly believe in the wonders of medicine, and that's what the help is there for. And I know there's probably going to be a ton of people that say, oh, well, there's people who lose weight and maintain and keep it off every day without any help. And to that, I say, good for them.
Yeah, great for them. And I say, everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody is different. Whether you're working out to gain muscle or working out to lose weight, or it doesn't matter. Everybody is different. So what works for one person is not going to work for the next.
Yeah.
Just the way life works. Maybe a sensitive question. With weight loss comes loose skin, loose whatever. What are your thoughts on plastic surgery? Have you thought about that?
I have no problem with plastic surgery. I, at one point, lost 135 pounds, and after that, I did have a breast lift with implants done. So I'm very pro plastic surgery. Luckily, I am young enough to where I don't think I will struggle with a ton of loose skin that I couldn't live with. Plastic surgery is very much a luxury.
100%.
It is not cheap.
I mean, you're talking like the 1% can afford the plastic surgery and the body modifications to be whatever they want to look like.
And I just don't know that I am in a place where I think I need that.
Sure.
I don't need to change what I look unless you stop liking what I look like.
Baby, you're gorgeous.
So I'm not really worried about that. And I'm not really walking around, if I was a Vegas pool girl who needed to make money by serving people poolside in a bikini, then maybe that would be something higher on my list. But I don't know that it's something I totally need right now.
Sure.
That is a very way down the line thing. But again, I'm not opposed to it or against it.
Okay. All right. That's fair. All right. So because I don't know truly, what is like duration of the medicine? What's reasonable expectations?
Like how long it would take me to lose the weight I want to lose? I think that kind of depends, and I still am losing slow because I'm not on a full dose yet.
Right.
I do expect it to pick up as I get closer to like the 1 milligram mark, maybe a little
which
bit
will be
more.
in a couple months probably.
Yeah.
Right.
But people have been on their weight loss medication for like a year, 18 months before they hit their goal.
Okay.
I don't know that it would take me that long because I'm not trying to lose that much weight.
Sure.
So we just gonna have to play it by ear. But if it takes me, let's say it did take me a year to get to where I wanted to be, or if I hit the 40-pound mark and I'm like, you know what, I want to lose a little bit more, then I'm fine with that.
Okay. What is your ideal weight? And hold on. Two-part question. Have you ever been at your ideal weight? Because you said before you lost 135 pounds. Have you ever been at your ideal weight? So you were pretty skinny then. Yeah, it's hot out. Have you ever been at your ideal weight, and or what is your ideal weight now? Because did you think you were too skinny or perfect weight or whatever?
So if I had to say right now, my ideal weight would probably be like 220, 230.
Okay. Keep in mind, Janine's 6'1".
Yeah. And I had hit that at some point in the past because my low weight was 185.
Wow. Okay.
But I had no muscle. I was the cardio queen back then.
Yeah, you were doing Peloton and
like 5 days a week.
Yeah, like
Like
crazy.
an hour class every day.
Yeah.
So I don't think I got to my goal weight in the way that I would have wanted. And I didn't know enough at the time about building muscle and what that does to your aesthetics and how you look. I want to have muscle, which is why my goal weight is higher than where my previous low was.
Okay, so you would be more comfortable at a muscular, like 200, 220, somewhere around there? Is that what you're
saying? More like muscular 220, 230, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. I mean,
I did not, getting down to the 200 to the 185 mark, and granted I didn't have any muscle on at the time, but I just didn't like the way I looked. I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. Like I just felt too thin.
What was wrong with it?
I just felt too thin. I felt like I looked sickly.
You were just scrawny.
Yeah.
No muscle definition, no nothing.
But I also, like as a woman, I didn't feel womanly. Like I didn't have any curves. Like I just was so thin.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you saw a picture of me from the other day.
I did see a picture. So it was the first picture I've seen of you that skinny, and
that wasn't even the skinniest.
And I didn't care for what I saw, but if that's what you want to look like, of course I always love you. But if that's what you want to look like, of course I support you and all of that. But you were a stick. And 6'1", how much did you get down to?
185.
185? That's really skinny. And especially for a woman, I mean, like this, you're talking zero.
I think I did a full body scan. Like I did one of those, what are those body comp tests when you're in the pool?
I have no idea.
It's like it's one of the body composition tests where you submerge yourself in the water.
Yeah.
And it's the water displacement body comp test.
I saw Brian Shaw do that.
Yep. So I did that, and they said that I think my body, I'll have to see if I can find those results.
Okay.
They might be tucked away in my email somewhere.
Yeah.
But my body fat got down to like 11 or 12%.
Yeah.
And they can tell where the fat was on your body. And she's like, you maybe have 10 more pounds of fat to lose.
Jeez. Wow.
So, and I didn't like.
And you didn't like how you looked, which is fair. That's fair. I mean, not that it matters what I think, because Janine can do whatever she wants, and I support her no matter what. But I love that you like to work out. I love that you want to have muscle tone and definition and all of that. I think that's beautiful on a woman.
Like think about if we're scrolling Instagram and I show you like I want to look like her. It's never been a skinny person.
No, it hasn't.
It's never. It's been and I'm a curvier or muscular.
Yeah, and everyone's different. I don't care for scrawny women. It's just my thing. But of course, everyone's different. So ideal weight maybe 220, 230.
Yeah, we'll hit 230. We'll reevaluate.
Yeah. And duration, maybe around a year, probably year, 16 months, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you worry about putting it out there that you're on this medicine?
Yes and no. I worry because it is not talked about. It sounds kind of taboo, and it
100%
sounds like you're cheating. And I think it really only will come from us talking about it and normalizing being on that medication and normalizing getting the help.
Yeah.
Well, that would make it less so. So I don't like broadcast it from the rooftops, but also if anybody asks me or if it naturally comes up, I don't avoid it.
Why do you think it's such a taboo subject?
I think part of it does come from originally when Ozempic came onto the market, it was a diabetes medication.
Right.
And it was so expensive that only celebrities could afford it.
Mm-hmm.
But also in people getting prescribed for it off-label use, like myself, that did cause a shortage. And so there was a time when diabetes patients who truly needed that medication could not get it.
Yeah.
Because you have people like me taking it for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely believe big pharma is a big issue.
100%.
And it doesn't feel good to be contributing to that.
Yes. But now that supply and demand has evened out.
Yeah. And I'm taking an off-label,
right.
Or I'm taking the generic version of the active ingredient that I just, I pay for out of pocket.
Right.
Through a different, provider that is fully acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking it away from somebody who it's medically necessary for.
Sure. You're not taking away from a true diabetic that really needs this medicine and hurting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of why people didn't want to admit it. Like, think about how many celebrities dropped weight, out of nowhere, but no one has admitted to taking it. That's why. But it's also because they could afford it.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Did that answer your question? What was your question?
It just, why do you think it's such a taboo thing?
But yeah, I think that's a big reason why. It's because it was, if you were taking it for weight loss, then you aren't taking it for the right reasons.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I was going to say, now there are versions of it that are FDA cleared for weight loss. So semaglutide is the active ingredient. You have Ozempic, which is the diabetes version, and then you have Mounjaro, which is the weight loss version. But again, in trying to get it covered by insurance, my particular insurance does not cover weight loss medications. Right. So Mounjaro was not an option at all, and Ozempic was.
Yep. I had a question. What was it? Oh, I've heard people, not just like on Instagram or whatever, just say this is cheating, just like steroids is cheating for bodybuilders, right? What are your thoughts on that?
To people who say I'm cheating, I am sorry that you feel that way. And I guarantee you, if you are somebody that thinks this is cheating, you have never truly struggled with weight loss and how difficult it can be. And a medication like semaglutide truly makes me feel as if the playing field is level. Like you said, you've never struggled with food noise. You have no idea what it feels like to constantly be thinking about food and sugar cravings and things like that.
You're right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would say to anybody who says that this is cheating. And if I'm a cheater, then that's guess that's just what I am.
What is what it is, we're fortunate enough that we are able to afford this right now. But I don't think, it's not like we're in some competition where things are not allowed or whatever.
I'm doing this purely for
you.
For me. And I want to say, my health, because it is, they say it's not healthy to be of a bigger weight, higher weight, heavier weight. But my blood work is fantastic.
Yeah,
my pressure is great.
Truly, you are healthier than me by far.
I eat well. I do my labs. I take my vitamins. Everything, picture perfect health. If you did not see my weight on the chart.
Yep.
So I'm really just doing it for me and for aesthetics and to be comfortable and to feel like I can fit in society by being at a smaller weight.
Whoa.
For women.
Interesting comment. What do you mean feel like you can fit in?
You're not treated well as a obese person. I know it's something else you've not experienced.
I haven't. No, I haven't.
It is very common, and maybe we'll save this for another video, but just the way you are treated when you are bigger and take up more space, you are treated like a second-class citizen.
So
the world is easier for skinnier people.
Interesting comment, and we will save this for another video because this brings up a lot of thoughts for us. We were just on vacation in Florida, sitting at a very high-end bar, and we got a lot of stares.
The neighborhood was very wealthy.
In my mind, I'm thinking because we're a mixed couple, in your mind, it makes me wonder if you're thinking because you're heavier,
bigger maybe,
bigger, whatever.
We're bigger people. We are very striking
bigger.
when we go out.
We are bigger people.
I think that's part of it.
Interesting. Okay, we're gonna save this for another video. Yeah, we'll save this for another video for sure. But that brings up a lot of thoughts. So,
any final thoughts on this topic?
Final thoughts on this. I love that you're doing it for you. I love that you're unapologetic. You want what you want. I love that. You go after what you want, and if people have a problem with it, oh well. I mean, we have always kind of lived our lives that if people have a problem with us,
the way I see it, none of those people are paying our bills.
Exactly.
So if this is how I choose to spend my money and my time, and it makes me happy, then I'm going to go for it.
Yeah. It's great, and I'm proud of you. And I think I can see a difference in you. I can see a difference in just kind of the snacking and stuff like that. And you even said like, I feel good. Like I'm not eating as much. I'm not, whatever. We were on vacation. You didn't gain any weight, and you were really proud of that.
Yeah.
Because typically on vacation, you snack and eat and do whatever junk food and whatever.
Oh yeah.
So I'm proud of you.
Thanks, babe.
I think you're awesome.
I think you're awesome too.
It's been 2 months.
Yes.
Let's say in 4 months we'll do a total 6-month check-in.
I love it.
See where you're at with weight and your cravings and your just experience and all of that, and just see where we're at.
I think that sounds great, and I'd love to share with you guys.
All right. Sounds good. Double scoop.
Out.